All right, let's talk about something that is totally changing the game for how businesses sell online: composable commerce. If you've ever felt like your e-commerce platform is actively fighting you instead of helping you, well, then this one's for you. Let's get right into it. So let me just ask you straight up. Is your online store holding your business back? I mean, it is just so frustrating, right? When you've got these amazing ideas for new features or better ways to reach your customers, but your technology just can't keep up. Trust me, you are not alone in feeling this way. And yeah, these are the classic warning signs. Do any of these hit a little too close to home? Maybe your teams have to bundle every single tiny change into this one massive, super risky release train that takes forever to leave the station. Or you're just drowning in upgrade debt, so many tweaks and customizations that you can't even install a simple security patch. And here's the thing, this isn't just some IT headache. Slow page speeds are literally costing you sales. And trying to launch a new mobile app feels like this huge, impossibly expensive mountain to climb. You know what? All of these problems, they really point back to one single root cause. The old way of doing things, what we call the monolithic platform, is over. Let's break down what that really means and why it's become such a massive bottleneck for any modern business. This right here explains the two philosophies perfectly. On the left, you've got the monolith. The best way to think about it is like one of those old all-in-one stereo systems from the 80s. The turntable, the cassette player, the radio, they're all fused into one giant box. If the tape deck breaks, the whole thing is basically useless. Now on the right, you have the composable approach. This is like a modern high-end audio setup. You get to pick the absolute best turntable, the best amplifier, the best speakers from any brand you want and just plug them together. Want to upgrade your speakers? Cool, just swap them out. Nothing else is affected. It's fast, it's flexible, and it's built to adapt. So that brings us to the solution. What in the world is composable commerce? Well, it's the modern, flexible way to build the exact digital experience that your customers crave and that your business actually needs. At its heart, this is the definition. Instead of buying one giant, inflexible platform, you get to assemble your own dream team, a best-of-breed stack. You pick the absolute best content management system for your brand, the best search tool, the best checkout provider, and you connect them all together using APIs. Think of APIs as a universal translator that lets all these best-in-class tools talk to each other seamlessly. And this is the engine that makes it all possible. The MACH principles. Just think of it as the operating system for composable commerce. M is for microservices, which just means breaking down huge functions like inventory or payments into small, independent services. A is for API first, making sure they all speak that same universal language. C is for cloud native, so it's built to scale up or down on demand, just like the modern internet requires. And H is for headless. This is a big one. It means the customer-facing part, the head, is totally separate from all the back-end machinery, so you can redesign your storefront without ever touching the engine. So why would you go through this change? Well, the business reasons are just incredibly powerful. You can scale only the parts you need to. So if you have a huge spike in traffic for a sale, you just scale the checkout service, not the entire clunky platform. This gives your customers a way better experience with lightning-fast pages. Your teams can work on their own pieces of the puzzle and ship new features so much faster. And here's a big one, you get way better control over your costs, paying for what you actually use instead of some massive upfront license fee. And if you need proof that all this speed actually matters, just look at this number. A study from Deloitte found that improving your page speed by just 1/10 of a second, that's literally the blink of an eye, can boost retail conversion rates by over 8%. That is a huge return on investment, and it's exactly the kind of performance that these new composable architectures are built to deliver. And look, this isn't just some theory. The world's biggest brands are already cashing in. Nike is using this to roll out features and personalization faster than ever. The Lego Group is creating these amazing, seamless experiences, whether you're on their website, their app, or in a physical store. IKEA is doing wild things like connecting 3D room planners and augmented reality tools right into their shopping experience. This is the new enterprise standard for how you do a modern, safe transformation. Okay, so hopefully you're sold on the why, but what about the how? Let's shift gears from the theory and get into the practical, step-by-step approach for how you might actually do this in your own business. Now, the very first thing, and maybe the most important mindset shift, is this. You have to treat this migration as a program, not a project. A project has a start date and an end date. A program is a continuous strategic evolution. This is a long-term commitment to being an agile, adaptable business. So your first big decision is to pick a migration pattern that matches how much risk you're willing to take. The Big Bang, well, the name says it all. You flip one giant switch and move everything at once. Super fast, but also super risky. A phased approach is more common. You move one piece at a time. Maybe you start with search, then product pages, then checkout. But my personal favorite is the Strangler Fig pattern. Just picture a new vine growing over an old tree, slowly but surely taking over until the old tree is just gone. You do the same thing with your website, routing small pieces of traffic to the new services. It's by far the lowest risk approach. And this whole journey can really be broken down into these 6 practical steps. First, you get the right people in the room and you audit everything you have. No skeletons in the closet. Then, you define the clean data structures and API contracts that will be your new foundation. Only then do you start picking vendors. After that, it's all about building, testing like crazy, and deploying very carefully. Always, always with a clear plan B if something goes wrong. Okay, so getting the technology right is obviously huge, but it's only half the battle. To really pull this off, to move fast without, breaking your business, you have to nail a few other critical, non-technical things. So you've got your tech plan, you've picked your migration strategy, but where do things go wrong? What's the hidden trap here that catches so many organizations by surprise? They're right here. These are the 3 pillars that will make or break your migration. First, SEO. It absolutely cannot be an afterthought you check off a list at the end. It has to be its own dedicated workstream from day one to protect your search traffic. Second, you are changing how people work, so you need new processes, new playbooks, new training for your teams. And third, you have to be brutally honest about the total cost of ownership, planning for the real costs, like running 2 systems at once for a while. So let's kind of zoom out and bring this all together. As we've seen, moving to composable commerce is about so much more than just swapping out some software. It's really about re-architecting your entire business for what's next. I think this quote really just nails it. Composable commerce is a technology upgrade as well as a long-term business strategy. It's about giving your company the freedom to innovate faster, the power to scale smarter, and the agility to build the exact experiences your customers are demanding, all without being held back by your tech. So the final question I want to leave you with is this. Is your business built to evolve? Because in a world where customer demands and the market can change literally overnight, the ability to adapt, that's not just a nice to have. It's a requirement for survival. Thanks for joining us.